Welcome to another episode of the Stitch Diaries. Now, I am so excited to be filming this video today. It is totally unplanned. I started writing a few show notes yesterday and then my husband has popped out this afternoon. I thought, why not? Why not just get the camera on and start filming? Because I've got things I can show you and things to talk about. So I'm going to show you some recent things that I've been getting up to. Maybe touch on what I was doing before when I did my last Stitch Diary video, and I'll show you my craft room. My craft room is getting renovated, so I'll show you how it's looking. Now, I do a lot of other videos. I do like doll unboxings and doll sew-alongs and all things, that kind of things, other than these Stitch Diaries. And occasionally I have done a few updates of my craft room in those videos, but I don't think I've shown anything in the Stitch Diary videos because I think I was still partially in my room when I did my last one in April, and then my husband said, right, you've got to get out of there, I need you fully out of there. And then he said I could leave my cutting table in there which had all stuff in, so I overloaded it, and then he wanted to move it and it broke, and he said we've got to get loads of things out of it. It's been a bit of a nightmare, but yeah, I'll show you anyway. Oh, and gnomes, let me get my gnomes. Right, do you remember I went into 2025 wanting to do the year of gnomes, and I was so excited, and I said I'm going to be able to bring you a video every month this year, and yeah, it just went terribly basically. Now, I'll tell you what happened. Now, you saw my January gnome. He was the one out of the book. He was a knit along Sarah was doing because she released a gnome book, which I have shown you one of my Stitch Diaries. And yeah, and that all went lovely. I used my stash, and I said that he was very similar to this pre-knit along when Sarah was going to release her gnome book. We did this knit along, so then, and then this was the one I did in January. I think a number of people were doing this one. I don't think it was my choice. From what I remember, I'm sure everybody was doing this, well, the people who chose to. So yeah, that's how, so it went really well. I was very excited. Right, I'm going to put these gnomes behind me. They look a bit far away, don't they? But they're there, you've seen them. Well, that was that. And then in February, I had that awful time where I didn't want to buy the yarn from America because they'd got this self-striping yarn which was going to work perfectly for the stripy hat. So I got some alternative, but then when I knitted it up, you never got to see an example of it knitted up because I undid it, but I wish I'd have shown you. It just didn't look right for this style of hat. But I went on, and I've shown you this gnome already, and I went on and knitted this one. This was a really fun one because there'd been a knit along before. I think it was to do with a shop somewhere overseas, and then Sarah re-released this gnome as a small one, and I did use that other yarn on the socks, and it striped okay, but you just didn't get this look with this chevron hat. And I've been so delighted. He has been sitting in a little purple basket in my porch since I made him. I've been enjoying looking at him every day. These two and this one that you've seen before, this is a gnome out of the book as well, Sarah's book. And they sit in my bedroom all the time on the windowsill, and this one sits in my porch. I don't have them all out at the same time anymore because I've got a number of them. I kind of circulate them a little bit. But yes, I was so happy. That was February. And then it was going to be a knitting theme gnome. Now, as you may see, not all the gnomes have arms. Like this one didn't have any arms. You don't need to do arms. But the next one was really important that the gnome had arms, because at the end you make it look like the gnome is knitting their own hat. It's a knitting gnome. Now, I had terrible trouble with this. I'd pre-ordered yarns to do a gnome, But I didn't realise this gnome was going to be bigger than all the others that I'd done so far. So I'm being a bit mindful now what I get involved in, because I like them all to be a bit smaller, unless I wanted a big gnome. So I had terrible trouble. I was using the yarns that I'd bought for a gnome, and I ended up adding my Barbie Advent yarns, and then what happened is I ran out before I got to the arms, and nothing I had in my stash was going to work for the arms. And where I left you, well anyway, I had ordered another yarn kit from the same yarn dye I'd ordered the first kit from, because the colour that I'd used for the arms was in that kit, and then I never got the yarn. And I had to a message on PayPal saying I hadn't received it, and I got my money back straight away, and then that was that. But then a yarn dyer in this country followed me, got chatting to her, and she dyed some yarn for me. Now it doesn't match, but because the yarn is darker, it does go with my gnome. So here is my finished knitting gnome at long last. I did finish her a while ago, maybe in the summertime, but it was when this new yarn dyer got hold of. She dyed this yarn for me. Actually, I've got it here. Let's wind it. It's all got a bit. So I've got loads of it left, because literally all I've done with it. Be good. I might use this for Halloween. I might make a Halloween gnome or something with it next year. I'll do something Halloween themed. Maybe a doll jumper or something, a Blythe doll jumper. But yeah, I've got plenty. But you can see it's very different. On photo, I thought that looked very similar, but it is very different. And how I've knitted it, the darker bit has come through. But look, it looks okay. I've got an end here. It was a little ball of wool, but it's come undone. But I made these little knitting needles. She's got this little shawl. And yeah, she's lovely. She really is lovely. And her nose is the same colour. She looks like a dark-skinned gnome, doesn't she? With white gloves on. But yeah, she is really lovely. She's much bigger than the others. But yeah, it had a bit of an upsetting sort. And that's when I didn't know I hadn't given up. I'd given up at finishing this gnome, but I wasn't going to let it ruin the following month. And the following month, like, we can make any gnome we like, but Sarah does knit-alongs, and I was so excited about this knit-along. It was I think it was a mushroom theme gnome that month, I'm sure. And you know, the yarn dyers get involved in it, get suggested, and nobody that I found in this country was doing them in the colourway that I wanted. I wanted it like the poisonous mushroom style of gnome. So I'll just pop my knitting gnome up here. Shall I put her this side? Right. So I'll put that yarn over there. So I was so excited, and then what happened? I couldn't get the yarn, and there was no way I was going to knit this gnome in alternative yarns. However, the yarn, and I contacted someone, different people to sell it to me. Nobody got back to me. But then the lady who sold me the yarn, who dyed the yarn for my knitting gnome, she dyed me. I showed her what the mushroom looked like, and she dyed yarn for me, and she sent me some undyed. And so I've got another guardian angel, and my guardian angel is Yew Tree Yarncraft. And she's actually the other side of Birmingham. I live just over the Birmingham border on the south east of Birmingham, if you look at it as a big circle. And I think she is the other side of the south, but in the, I think, she might be under Dudley, or she might be under Birmingham, I don't know. Well, anyway, she dyed them for me. So I was so excited about it. So even though this was the gnome I was going to knit in April, I haven't knitted this gnome yet. I have done another gnome, but yeah, I haven't done the one I wanted to do in April. And I've got to spin the yarn. Can you hear a chicken? I don't know if you can hear that from me. One of my chickens must have laid an egg. They're very noisy when they've laid an egg. You'll get to see my chickens again. I've got some new ones as well. We did have some unfortunate things happen since you've seen them last time. But yeah, I've got some really cute. I've got these Polish ones as well now, 2 Polish, and oh, they're so cute. They've got like really fluffy heads, and yeah, one we call Guinness. She looks like a pint of Guinness. So, but anyway, I'm going to have a mushroom gnome at some point. So I don't know when I'll plan. Obviously, I've got all this yarn winding to do. But to my youngest son, I've taught him how to wind yarn. So yeah, he's been helping me, which has been amazing. So it's more of a 2-person job. But oh, this is incredible. I wanted this yarn so bad, and now I have it. And thank you to Diane. I'm sure her name's Diane at U-Tree. Let me get this right. U-Tree Yarn Craft, however you say it. Right, so then this is when it all went wrong, didn't it, with my Stitch Diary videos, because I had all this gnome trouble. I'd got 2 dressmaking things planned, and I did go out. I got the fabric I wanted for that pattern I was making, and I got some lining fabric as well because the fabric was wholly, it was broadly on lace. And I had it all ready, and I had this other thing ready, a Tilly and the Buttons one, and my husband said, "You've got to get out of this room." And that's it. I didn't do any dressmaking for myself then, but I'm going to pick it back up again soon. I don't know if it'll be this side of Christmas. Maybe it will. Well, maybe I'll make something for Christmas Day. I have done the past 3 years. Shall I show you what I've made for Christmas Day in this video the past 3 years? Or maybe I'll save that for the start of Christmas, because I'm going to be doing Vlogmas again this year. So I'll do a video every single day of Advent. So maybe I'll show you them, or maybe with this video, I'll just see. So well, anyway, that's what happened. The dressmaking kind of got pushed aside. I was doing loads and I've done so much sewing this year. So many videos, even though you think, gosh, I haven't seen a Stitch Diary since April. And then I did a free sewing machine magazine subscription video unboxing. You haven't seen me since that video if you don't watch my doll videos. But I've had more videos this year than I've ever had since being on YouTube. But they've been all doll makes, doll sew-alongs, doll unboxings, that kind of thing. And then obviously they're not for everybody, are they, if you like seeing my knitting, my crochet and my dressmaking. So I might even break my videos up further in time. I might have a separate dressmaking series and then keep my Stitch Diary for knitting and crochet. But what I will say is my crafts always, they might end up sneaking in the other videos anyway, here and there. So that was it. No gnomes, because I had this big break and then had some yarn delivered. But then I had some more yarn delivered, and I think, I don't know where I got this yarn from. It wasn't from U-Tree Craft. It might be Yarn Unique, maybe. Maybe I can double check this. But I got involved with another knit along, and this was the Gnome Along in October. And this is my gnome. Now, I don't know if you can see, but I use sparkle yarn. Now, this doesn't show up on photos all that well, but to the naked eye and on video, it really shows up. But this gnome is so cute. I was so happy to do another one with stripy legs, and I've left my stitch marker on there. And what I loved about knitting this gnome, I was knit out to my gnome knitting bag when I'm doing gnome knitting. And this is my gnome knitting bag, the one I made. And look, it's all Halloween themed. So October was such a joyous month to be knitting this gnome out of this bag. It really, really was. So anyway, those are all my gnomes. So I'm not doing a gnome along this month, because I've been doing loads of other knitting, and I'll show you that knitting as well. So I cast on in July, so I didn't do a stitch diary since, so you wouldn't know this unless you follow my Instagram, my Claire Who Makes Things Instagram. I cast on a knitted stocking in July because Arnie and Carlos do a Christmas in July stocking. It's not a knit along, they just release this pattern. I don't know if I pay. I think I paid for it. I don't think it's a free one. But anyway, I've done loads of progress on this knitting. Anyway, I got about 20 rows past the heel, and then I realised this isn't the motif isn't going to be in the right place at the heel, because this is an afterthought heel. And then I had a look at my email. I pulled it back, re-knitted it a different way, and then I read my emails, and Arnie and Carlos had actually emailed us a few days before I'd noticed myself to say then the heel needs to be in a different place because your design will be in the wrong place. So yeah, so I took it back anyway, but oh my goodness, this is going to be gorgeous. Now these look a lot better when you've steam blocked them, so it won't look amazing at the moment, but this is how it's looking so far. So can you tell what it's going to be? So that is where the heel is going to be. This blue will be removed. Basically, I'll have to pick up stitches above it and below it and then cut this out, and then I knit the heel after. But oh gosh, isn't it gorgeous? It's so lovely. And can you tell what it's going to be? It's going to be a stag. So yeah, you've had to really keep your wits about you knitting this. So it's the same on the other side. It's two-sided. So because of the way the join is, this will look great hung either direction, whatever way you want it to face. There'll be no odd bit, because sometimes you get a bit of a jog with some of them. But if you do the heel in this place, on every single one, I think I'm going to do this going forward with any others I do, if I do any more, because I will have 6 knitted stockings when I've finished what I'm doing, because I've been doing the Arnie and Carlos knit along in November, and I'm going to show you that one in a moment as well. So I did a Christmas in July stocking and a knit along in the month of December. That would have been maybe 2003, so I had 2 at the end of that year. Then in 2004 I did a Christmas in July stocking, and I did their knit along they did one in November, so then I ended up with 4. So this was going to be my 5th one, and then there's going to be a 6th. I just know what, I can't get enough. I remember I've been doing Arnie and Carlos's knit alongs for like ages, and I'll get all my others out during Vlogmas, but I remember thinking I really would like to do one of their Christmas stockings one day, and I cannot believe this Christmas I'll have 6, which is amazing. I'm so excited about it. I absolutely love them. So I'm going to do a bit more work on this today. I am up to row 108, so I've actually gone a bit further on the other one, on the knit along one. So I want to try and keep up if I can, but I've been doing a bit of crocheting, so that's how I've got a little bit behind with this one, because I've been doing some crochet, which I'm going to show you, but it doesn't look all that at the moment. Right, put that there. It's going to get messier, isn't it? So this is my other stocking. Oh, I'm wearing a knitted jumper today. I didn't knit this jumper. I don't even know it. So I think it was from Bank. It was a shop that was in my town. I think it was. But they're not there anymore. They closed down. Let's have a look. Oh, maybe not. It says Oasis. I've had it years. It's really lovely. It's got a little split on the side, and it's really fitted, quite figure hugging. So you know, when sometimes you want something big and baggy, maybe sometimes you want something figure hugging. And actually I went to the dentist today, and the dentist dropped a big blob of toothpaste. She said, it's on your jumper. And I remember thinking, I'm glad I've got a high neck on, because it would have ended up in my bra, because I thought I might wear this jumper to the cinema actually, because I always end up with popcorn in my bra. Well, But anyway, this is my next stocking. This is the mystery stocking along. So this is how it's looking. I don't know who these little people are going to be, but look, they're little people. They look like they've got jodhpurs on, look. There's hearts, more hearts, candles. That's where the heel is in this black yarn. These are meant to be like golden acorns. And then this is like a traditional sort of Norwegian jumper look. And then it's very Scandinavian looking, isn't it? Do you know if you go to IKEA with the red and white and things? But I absolutely love this stocking. It's so bright, isn't it? It's so different. Like, I can visualise all my other stockings, like my bullfinch one, the one with around the world with the little boys and girls around the world. Oh gosh, I can picture them all. Anyway, I'll get them out in December. But these are my new ones, which I am thoroughly enjoying. So, but you're probably not going to, unless you follow my Instagram, you're not going to probably see these again on a video until December. Maybe I'll have finished them by the 1st of December. And if not, I'll show you what I've done so far. So I'll put these up here. I'm knitting these on these Knit Pro. I think I started one of them on a circular needle, and then I changed it. I just find the circular needle is not as comfortable to work on. I think it's the length of the needle's really small. And even though I suppose it gives you the security, you're not going to drop any stitches or anything, I just feel like those are way more comfortable to knit with. Now, regarding this knit along and the other stocking, the stocking I'm knitting, I basically screenshot the pattern, and then I took like screenshots blown up and did loads of printouts. So I've got all these dark, what I've done it once. See, that's how it's going to look. I've done it once in the right colours, and then I've done them big like this so I can mark off my rows. Now, regarding this knit along I'm doing, this mystery knit along, this is my one today. Every day they give you the whole stocking picture. So what I do is I screenshot it, I crop the bit I'm working on plus a few of the rows from the night before so I can refer back to it. And if it's all going to be in like 2 colours, I memorise the colours and then I'll do it in the grayscale. But if it's like a bit of a mixture, I do it in colour. But because I'm cropping it, because every day they'll give you a bit more like this, and to be honest, you'll end up wasting your ink, and it's tiny. I can't work off this, but they do recommend using Knit Companion. But if you do like pen and paper and you use like iPhones and things, that's how I do mine. I screenshot it and then I crop it and I blow it up on my printer app. And I do this and then I mark it off. So I'll finish this. So this is where we're up to today. So I'm totally up to date. And that is row 112. And as I say on the other one, I'm on row, I've completed 108. So I'm a little bit ahead on the one over the other. But there you go, it doesn't matter, does it? So, excuse me, I need a sip of water. I've got my cup here. My husband got me a new cup. I was very lucky. These are quite expensive, these Stanley cups. And we'd been eyeballing them in John Lewis for a while. And my husband, I was going to get him one for Christmas. I was going to put it into Christmas stocking. So I was trying to steer him away from them every time I was in my town. And but in the end, what happened is he got like a hole in his sports bottle, and it was just like leaking out water. So when he was in Solihull with our youngest son, and I wasn't there, they were getting their hair cut, that was it. He decided to buy himself one in this style, in a different colour, and then he knew I really liked them, and he got me one as well. So what a treat. I thought he might get me one for Christmas as well, actually. But yeah, I'll just have a sip. But it keeps your water cool for hours. To be honest, I thought I'd only use it when I was out and about. But I've ended up filling it up in the morning, and it just keeps my water cold all day. So because if I have a glass, I did have some Coke in this earlier with my lunch. It gets warm pretty quickly, doesn't it? But yeah, and I fill it up before bed as well. So yeah, it's really, and our fridge, we've got a water filter on our fridge. So my water is filtered as well. So no need to buy bottled water. Right, I'm going to have a look at my list and see what else I want to show you. Right, I decided before I watched this video, this was yesterday, to watch my Last Stitch Diary video back to see if there was anything I promised to show you. Now, I promised to show you something I'd bought for my miniature mice, but with everything that happened, everything went into storage. So unfortunately, I'm not going to show that, if that's the thing I'm thinking of, in this video, but I will show you in a future video. But I'm really hoping to be back in my craft room for Vlogmas or during Vlogmas, so that would be exciting, wouldn't it? So I can cross that out. Now, I mentioned in that video I was doing some knitted critters, right? And I thought, knitted critters, what was it? And I remember this was down the side of my bed. A number 7 bag, and I've got this magazine puller. I've pulled a bit out of a magazine, and I remembered, because it was Easter time, wasn't it? I was knitting a little lamb, and guess what? Here she is, and look, I never finished her. She's got a little bow on, and she's got her arms. What does she need? Was it legs? Let me see if I even knitted the legs. It was a kit, look, in a magazine. Oh, I've been looking for these. My ends, these are my stoppers for my knitting. Right, I'm going to keep those out. Oh, my mouse pencil. Oh, do you know what I've been marking my stag stocking off with? This from the Flying Tiger, and this is from the Flying Tiger. These are pencils. Do you know, when I do my own advent calendar, I've put them in, and I know that I'm going to use them. Well, if I haven't knitted the feet already, I've definitely got the yarn. So it looks like I only did one. There's stuffing in here, a notebook. I found a foot. Is there another one? No. Oh, is there? Yes! So, do you know what? I haven't got much more to do on this, but maybe I could save her for like the new year. So maybe I'll finish her for Easter next year. That would be nice, wouldn't it? That doesn't belong in this bag. That's Arnie and Carlos yarn. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's in a bit... At least everything's in here. And I must have been knitting these on 3.25s. I've written a note on the back of here. Right, so that's something for the future. Knitted critters. So there was... I'll show you what ones was in here. What magazine was this? It doesn't say what magazine. No, I'm really sorry. I don't know what magazine this was from, and it doesn't say, because it's on the pull out. There's Darla ponies in here, which are nice. Tiny toys for spring. And they're called Barnyard Buddies. And obviously, oh, I did the chick. I wonder if I've got that's going to be downstairs in my porch. So yeah, so I did the chick, and then that one come after. So yeah, oh yeah, I would like to knit the others. I really like the pig. Oh, and look, the duck. They're all cute, aren't they? And I've got some cats I want to knit as well, because we've got 3 cats. We've got 3 cats, 2 chihuahuas. I could say 2 dogs, but they're not a dog. They're not, honestly, they're not like having a regular dog having chihuahuas. They're really not. So but we've had some really bad luck actually. My parents-in-law, they had to have one of their dogs put to sleep this week, and I actually went with my dad to the vet with their dog to have their dog put to sleep. So I've really cried this week. It's been really sad, and what has happened between this Stitch Diary and the last one, I haven't mentioned it in any of my Doll Diary videos. I kind of kept it private. My dad had sepsis and pneumonia, and he was in hospital. He was basically the most critical patient in A&E. I went with him in the ambulance, and he was in there for a week, and yeah, it was awful. And my mum doesn't drive, she hasn't got a car and things, and yeah, so I spent a lot of time in hospital with him. And then when he came out, because my mum doesn't drive, I was taking her to the shop and things. So as well as moving out of my craft room, I had a summer holiday. My dad was ill, so yeah, we've had loads going on. So, and how have you been keeping? Because it's been ages since I've probably spoken to some of you, so I'd love to know how you're getting on. And my eldest son, did you know he was working away a lot? He works away a lot in the week. Sometimes he's at home all the time. I can hear my youngest playing his guitar. Hang on, let me speak to him. Right, I've had a few gnomes fall over, so if they look a bit different, when I sat down I pulled the throw. Now remember Harry? All the trouble I had. I ended up getting some doll glasses and putting those on him. So yeah, he's sort of complete. I can do his cape. That is just, I tied that on at the back, look. I could make those threads disappear if I wanted to, but I hadn't quite decided. But yeah, he's so cute, isn't he? Oh, I love him. Oh, yeah, we had so much trouble. Yuri, one of my dolly friends, basically, because I collect dolls, I've got loads of online friends, more online friends now, doll friends. And yeah, it's really amazing. I love having online friends. But yeah, he sent me the yarn to finish Harry, because the kit was without, wasn't it? Oh, and I frogged something for the very first time. Now, knitters, you'll know about this, frogging. I have never started a knitting project and undone it. And there was nothing wrong with this project. There was no mistake. But I was only picking it up when I was waiting for my son to come out of school, and it was just going on. And I didn't like the feel of it. It was from Aldi, and I wasn't enjoying the I wasn't enjoying it, basically. I wasn't keen to carry on. And then if I didn't like the feel of it in my hands, I wasn't going to really like it on my head either. But yeah, I frogged it. It was that hat. Do you remember the homeless man hat? It wasn't called that. Do you remember I was telling you about Jules of So Sweet Violet was knitting the same pattern for homeless people, and she uses nicer yarn than I was using. So the homeless were going to have a better hat than me, which is nothing wrong with that. But yeah, it's quite funny. So yeah, I frogged that. And have you been seeing, if you're on social media, do you see all these little reels popping up where people are sewing really cool things? And I keep seeing Christmas tree shaped bags, drawstring bags. So basically I have drafted a pattern. I'm going to do one of these. I got double use. This, do you remember the knit along look? That's from when I was knitting that bit. So I've reused it. I try and reuse the pieces of paper for things if I can get a use out of them. So yeah, I'm going to have a go at doing a Christmas tree bag. So maybe I'll let you know how that goes in December. And if it's well, I could always upload this as a downloadable file for you if I feel that it works, And but I'll let you know during Vlogmas, and I'll leave a link in whatever video I do for you. I have to keep that safe, make sure I don't lose it. So that's the Christmas tree. I can cross out knitted critters. Harry got his glasses. Now I've did loads of crochet this year, but it's all been dolly clothes. I went on and made a lovely live dress and a full-on blouse and shorts and shoes and everything. So maybe I'll put some photos on screen. And I've done loads and loads of doll sewing. Now, if you watch my video, my Vlogmas last year, I had a Sewing Street advent calendar, and I got loads of fabrics in there, and I made loads of gorgeous doll dresses and things from it. Yeah, I've had a wonderful time, and I've still got some of those left. So I enjoyed that calendar so much so I've ordered it again, and it has arrived, so I've got it again this year. But I ordered it in the morning before they put it on the show, and then when they were actually showing the calendar and things in, they were going to show some spoilers and things and talking about it, my middle son decided he wanted a full-on conversation with me, and he doesn't really get that I really want to watch something because it's not important to him. He just doesn't get it. So yeah, I didn't really get to watch the show. The only thing I did hear is there's not going to be as much fabric in it this year. There's going to be more patterns, which I must admit I'm pretty disappointed about, because I didn't use any of the patterns that were in the last one. I just wanted the fabric to make doll clothes and things. So yeah, or quilting. But I've not been doing it. I was doing a quilt a year, but I haven't been doing one because I need my room. I'm not doing a quilt on my kitchen worktop that I've got to keep tidying away. Anyway, this is a bag that I made. This I free motion embroidered. Joe, when you did start drawing with your sewing machine, this was a poppy project. This is one of my knitting bags, but I've got a crochet. It's long to keep knitting needles in, but I've got a crochet project in it. And where's the book? So so advent calendars, I'm having a Sewing Street one. I'm having, which is a sewing theme calendar. I'm having an Our Generation calendar. Do you remember Phoebe? Right, let me get Phoebe. This is Phoebe. Phoebe is an 18-inch doll. You can get these dolls online. You can get them from British toy shops. These dolls are easy to get. Now, this doll my mum bought for me. She got her from a charity shop, a toy charity shop, which is on my road. Now, she had no clothes, I don't think, or maybe she did, I don't know. But I made these pyjamas for her. I don't know how well you can see them. What's that on? Oh, it's the label. Yeah, I made these clothes. Oh, that's her label, look. Our Generation. Now, have you ever seen my dollhouse that I keep Barbies in? That house is an Our Generation. So that house would fit these dolls, but I use it for Barbies just to fit more in, which that's all in storage at the moment as well. But, well, this is Phoebe anyway. She's in pyjamas I made from a Flying Tiger shopping bag. And she was in my videos. Her hair really needs to be brushed. Well, I've ordered an Our Generation advent calendar, which they're all things for this doll. But if you've seen any of my smart dolls as well, they're like 60cm dolls or 28 inches. Some of the things will be suitable for them as well. So that will be exciting. However, I've ended up ordering a handmade advent calendar, a doll calendar, from somebody on Etsy. It's the most expensive calendar of the 3 calendars, and it's a 12-day calendar, and it's all items for smart dolls. So you might not know what a smart doll is, but I've got videos on YouTube all about my smart dolls as well. So so it's one just for them with clothes and things. So I don't know what's going to be in it, but I've told the designer of this calendar that I'm going to be opening it on YouTube. So she's asked me for a link to my YouTube, and I've left it to her. So that's really exciting. But so yeah, so there's going to be that. Now, regarding Phoebe, what happened is I'm in loads of I follow loads of doll doll people. I'm in Facebook groups and things, and I've seen smart dolls with a sewing machine, a pretend sewing machine that is really good for their size, that people like create little sewing rooms for them and things. And I've asked people, oh my goodness, where's that sewing machine from? Well, anyway, I was looking on eBay, and it turns out the sewing machine that people are using for smart dolls is actually an old, our generation one, and it comes with a table and chairs. Well, anyway, somebody was selling it used on eBay, and I've ordered it. I've ordered it, I've paid for it. They've not dispatched it as of yet. But it's going to come with another our generation doll. Her name, this is Phoebe. She's got a knob on her back because she would have had some plaits that come out the top of her head. She's got a hole in her head where you could have turned the knob and they'd get shorter and then you'd roll them up again. But it's going to come with another used doll, and the doll's name is Miranda, and I believe she's also a blonde, but I think she's blue-eyed. My mum fell in love with this doll because she's blonde with dark eyes like me, her daughter, and I had blonde-haired children with dark eyes as well. So that's why my mum got this doll for me. But I'm going to have another, which is really nice, plus a sewing machine and chair and table with some accessories, but they're all used items, but yes, they're still fun. I've been reading up actually on the Our Generation website today about hair care, and they highly recommend using a wire brush. So I don't think I have a wire brush, so I might be ordering one online or going shopping for one somewhere or something. So yeah, you're gonna see Phoebe all the way through my Vlogmas, definitely, and you're definitely going to see smart dolls all the way through my Vlogmas because I'm going to be opening things every other day for smart dolls. But I think Phoebe will be every day. But I don't want to really leave out Barbie and Blythe, so I'm going to make something. Barbie was spoilt last year. Barbie had something every day, so I think I'm going to make one item for my mini-me. I think I'm going to make the dress for her that I made for myself for Christmas Day last year, the one that I made the shirt for my husband, and I actually made smart doll pyjamas in that fabric as well. So I might make a dress for Barbie, and what I might have to do is, I haven't got an advent calendar for Blythe, so what I might do is I might make a 12-day Blythe advent calendar. So what I can do is that because my smart doll one will only be 12 days and I'll be opening it every other day, I'm going to try and make something or buy something for Blythe for the other 12 days. So I haven't got one calendar down, but I need to basically get this video out, which I promise I'd do on mid-November to a few people. I've got a collaboration Blythe video that I'm going to be doing. I might be having a Blythe unboxing video, and I've got Vlogmas. So that Blythe unboxing video might be before Vlogmas or might be sandwiched in Vlogmas, I don't know yet. But yeah, I've got loads of makes to do. If I want some 12 things for Blythe, I've got loads to do. But I've got a little bit distracted with Our Generation dolls, I must admit, and I bought a pattern for her yesterday to make socks because she's got nothing on her feet. So I've printed that out, so when I've finished sorting this video out, I'm going to see what fabrics I've got. I'm going to prep the pattern pieces and things and make her some socks. But I noticed on the Smiths website that there is a doll with pierced ears, but Phoebe hasn't got pierced ears, so maybe it's just that dolly. But oh, she's lovely, isn't she? Yeah, I was never really into these 18-inch style dolls, or any bigger doll really, but yeah, I've kind of they've kind of grown on me. Like, she doesn't want to sit down. I'll leave her on me. Anyway, so I didn't know I was going to have a smart doll calendar. So I thought I was going to have to make things for them as well. But now a maker is making things for me, which is amazing. So I was making something to go in the advent calendar for my first smart doll. Now, I say my first smart doll is a Hello Kitty fan. So, like a Sanrio fan. So I got this Hello Kitty crochet book. So I thought what I'd do is I'd make her something out of this book and put it in her advent calendar. But now I can kind of do it any time because they've got their own advent calendar. So this is what I've got so far. It may look very strange actually. You think, what on earth is it? But I ran out of yarn. Where is... I need to use this colour for the body because this Hello Kitty has got a reindeer outfit on. But I ran out, so I started the body and that's as far as I got. But the yarn has arrived today, so I can carry on with the body. But what I did, I had to miss out the body and carry on and do some other things. So I carried on and I did the feet. These are the feet. Make sure I don't lose anything. And these are the arms. And I made her bow. Hello Kitty bow. I could wear these, couldn't I? I think I've got a stain on this jumper looking at it. I could make a little bow, couldn't I, to go here? Add something to it to hide the stain. And this reindeer Hello Kitty also has a Christmas hat, which I've started. There was no reason I had to stop here. I hadn't run out of yarn, but I think it was just time I was stopping. Maybe it was dinner time or something. So I'll show you what this Hello Kitty is going to look like. That's her. She's cute, isn't she? I don't know if I'm sure about this bow. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe the bow would look better on top, but yeah, I don't know. But yeah, it's really exciting to make this. And this is the first time I've made anything out of this book. But I must admit, I thought it was going to be a bit smaller. But look at her head. The head is massive. But saying this, they suggested 4-ply yarn. And I used DK, which is thicker. And because I went thicker, I had to go up a bit in hook size as well. What did they suggest for this? They suggested a 3mm hook and 4-ply yarn. I'm using DK, which is thicker, and I'm using I think I'm using a 3.75. However, I'm really confused because I've got another crochet hook in here that's just a 2.75, and it's totally got me confused. What on earth am I using? Oh my goodness, maybe I'll write a note somewhere. No, I didn't write a note. Never mind. I'm sure it's the 3.75 that I'm using, but there you go. Hopefully I don't start crocheting the rest of it wrong. That would be unfortunate, wouldn't it? So that's my Hello Kitty plans, and I've talked about my advent calendars and some of the crochet that I've been getting up to. So dressmaking, I'm going to be getting back into that. But I'm not going to be doing any quilting. Or I was having a monthly delivery of a Princess and the Pea project by Mandy Shaw, and all I've done is made the mattress, which is the first one, and I've had the bed now and everything, but the bed needs painting. But with the craft room, it's been a nightmare, and I hope you understand it's kind of like hindered me a little bit with some of my projects. Well, donuts. So you saw that I made a crochet donut out of a donut book in my last video, my last stitch diary, I'm sure. But I also showed it again because I had a Blythe doll, which was a donut theme, Donna Donut, and I've got a video all about her. So and I made her a little donut themed dress and things. It was lots of fun. Well, anyway, I've had a delivery. It's arrived today from Toft was on Sewing Street. And I saw this tin. It's a Toft tin. It says donuts. Learn to crochet kit. All ingredients included. I'll open it. So basically, with this kit, you can either make lots of little donuts, pink donuts, or you can make a crochet. Oh my god, they're delicious. This is alpaca yarn, I love it. You can make a donut monster. So I haven't decided if I'm going to make 4 donuts yet. They look very similar to the donut I made before, or make the donut monster. But either way, it's lovely. Oh, to be honest, I wanted the tin and I wanted the yarn the most. And it's got the bits so you can make the face look. So yeah, it's really exciting. I'm really happy to get that. And maybe when I've finished with this project and things, I can actually keep Donna Donut's things in here, which would be nice, wouldn't it? I'm sure she'd like that. So anyway, oh yes, and I got some freebies. So I knew I was going to get a crochet pattern to make some fries. And what she'd suggested doing is putting these on a keychain, so you have like a chip key ring for the chip lover in your life. And see here, there's it's like a fry box from McDonald's type thing, like a takeaway box. I've got a paper die that cuts those, a Sizzix die. So I would like to make those chips. I'm not a massive chip lover in all honesty, but I like the crochet kind. So that was a freebie which I knew I was getting by ordering that from Toft, because it was a deal on Sewing Street. Anybody that ordered in the show between the certain time, maybe it was 10 and 11 or 11 and 12, got that pattern. And then if you ordered in the later show, you got another free pattern. But I've been sent a thing saying you can pre-order the Crochet Fairy Tale book, which is rather sweet. That's going to be delivered in March 2016. So that's exciting. I might order that. There's an advert for Make and Fill in Time for Christmas crackers. They're £15 per cracker. So I don't know if they're filled. I don't know if you have to make them yourself. I don't know if they're already filled or they're empty. I don't really know. I'd have to look on the website. I don't really get what this is all about. And they're doing some wool bundles. Free shipping from £30. That's the festive colours, look, in the alpaca yarn. They also sent 2 other free patterns which I wasn't expecting. And one is a crochet granny square. On the little picture it looks like an egg, doesn't it? Very Easter looking. Ah, they're wrist warmers. Oh, how interesting. And then the other one is a pattern, which I really love this, is to make some Christmas crackers. And they look tiny. They look like you put chocolate in them. So I might make some of those. Maybe I'll have those to show you during Vlogmas. A bit exciting. And I've had some yarn. I've had some few things delivered today, because that yarn I'd ordered for my Hello Kitty body arrived today, with some extra knitting needles that I ordered. And what it is, I ordered these because I didn't know if I wanted to pick up the heel before the end, so I have some extra needles. And I love these. And I sometimes break needles as well by sitting on them on the bed. But I have bought a pattern to do the Sarah Shara mystery knit along in December. However, even though I've bought the pattern, I've ordered yarn from a yarn dyer, and it's the yarn that, do you know, the one that didn't arrive, the yarn that I ordered the first time and come, the second time didn't, got my money back. I went back to that yarn dyer, and this is the yarn Unique, and it's glitter. So I might be doing a mystery knit along in December, or I might keep an eye on the pattern and see what I think of it. And if the gnome isn't to my taste, I might save this yarn. But every day you don't get a knitting clue with the mystery knit along in December. Sometimes you get a recipe, or you get a colouring page or a story and things. But I thought this looked fabulous. It almost looks a bit Gryffindor, doesn't it, these? Yeah, lovely. I just love sparkly yarn. I kind of wish now I'd had the sparkle yarn in the Barbie calendar. So is that everything? I wonder how long this video is. Let me check. Right, shall we go and see my craft room now, see how it's getting along, and then I'll come back here, and if I can find the things I made for Christmas Day other years, I'll get them and I'll include them in this video. So let's go downstairs. Right, here we go. Craft room. Now my feet are going to get really dusty. I could do with having a stick, do you know, one of those selfie sticks to do this. So, do you remember the fireplace? That was where the fireplace was. See that up there? That has been plasterboarded on the bottom level here. My husband has run out, and today is Thursday. Some more is coming on Friday. So that's there. Now, if you look at this wall, this is the wall with the radiator. Do you remember my board that I had with all the things on? That was here with the radiator. Well, this is all plasterboarded now, and ceiling is, which is great. So he finished this yesterday, he did, and that bit. So let's take it over. I don't want to film any children out the window. Let me take you around here. Yeah, there's people waiting out there, so I don't want to film them. So, now do you remember I had a bay window? And I used to sew in this corner here. See this? See that wall there? That wall was a little bit bigger. And I used to sew in this corner. Now that wall is, I'm going to have to lower this because I don't want to film people that don't want to be filmed outside. How's it looking? So yeah, so that was a bay window. I might need to turn this camera around, right, bear with me. Right, I'll flip the camera around now so I can see what I'm looking at. So this was the old wall here, and there was a bay window here, which it was only good for a mannequin, but now I've got all this space here. So I've got my window in, and it's here. So that's where the house ended. Basically, that was the wall going across here, but with a bay window here. But now it comes out further than the bay window, and I've got these corners. So this is where I'm going to sew in this area, which is amazing, isn't it? So let's go. Now, do you remember me filming that my cutting table is here? It's all covered up. There's still a few things inside of it. See some of my quilting dies in there. So that's my cutting table here. And that's where I used to do all my filming. Do you remember all those Kallaxes I had way up high? That's where I used to film. Yeah, so I probably might still do a lot of filming there actually. So let me go over here. Right, so I'm standing here now. So yeah, and here's the door. So yeah, what happened was this was the only good bit of wall space before. Right. Yeah, so the wall I'm standing next to now was the only good bit of wall space, but it was covered in Kallax. That one had the radiator cover on it, and there isn't much of a lip. If you look over here, look, there isn't much to the wall there, that tiny bit, and the radiator cover, so you can't really do much with this wall. So I just had a board on there, and then I couldn't really do much with that bit of wall because there was a big fireplace in it with a built-in thing here. Oh no, my billy bookcase wasn't there. It was in that corner. My billy bookcase was in that corner. There was a built-in thing here, a fireplace, and I literally just put my sewing machine in front of the billy bookcase. That's how it was. But now, and then I had a bay window with a dress form, but now I can literally have desk space all there. So yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? It's really amazing. So anyway, let's get back upstairs. Right, I hope the camera's okay. I'm back upstairs and I've got my things I've made for Christmas, basically. So we're thinking about 2004, 2000. So in 2002, I wore black jeans, you know, ready to wear black jeans, and I made this sparkly top. Now, excuse the overlocking inside is all white, and this coat hanger is far too small for it. And what did I make? I recognise it. Can you remember what I made? I might have to go back on my Claire Who Makes Things Instagram and go down to that Christmas, 2002 would it be? 3? Well, yeah, 2002 I wore this. And I also wore it, there was an open day in Guthrie and Garney, and I wore it there. But you know what, it's amazing, isn't it? I love it. And I'm going to wear it again this Christmas. Not on Christmas Day. You could wear it on the night on Christmas Day if you was going somewhere, couldn't you? But what was this pattern? All my sewing patterns are in my storage area, which is my garage renovation, but it's just full to the brim with things, so it's really hard to find anything. But yeah, I love it, it's so amazing. So I'm going to wear that this December at some point. And then the year after, I made this dress. Now I'm really sorry, you'd have to go on my old videos, on my old posts, and find out what was this. This was it Nina Lee? I don't know. Do you remember my husband wasn't quite keen on it? It's got these like flutter sleeves, ruched bit on there. It was such an enjoyable make. I think I got this fabric from Hobbycraft. It's got a pull string to pull it in at the waist, and it's got a ruffle. I think I altered it a little bit so it wasn't so floofy. But yeah, it's lovely. I think my hair, I don't know if you've noticed, can you see some darker bits in it? I was going really icy with my blonde, icier and icier. I'm sure my hair was really icy when I made this, and even when I did my last stitch iris. But all year I've been having some darker bits in my hair, so you might be able to see actually that it's been having it a while now. So I still look blonde, but not as, you know, shockingly blonde, if you know what I'm saying. But yeah, it's love. My husband didn't like it, but I loved it. Maybe I could wear this during Vlogmas or over the festive time, because that's the fun thing, isn't it? Even though you've wore them for a Christmas day and saved it, then other Decembers, that's like 2 days I've got something to wear Christmassy in December. And then last year I made a dress, and it was the fleur pattern, but I used the lining as the dress pattern. And I made a shirt for my husband, a Mimi G men's shirt out of it, out of this fabric. I made some pyjamas for my Lexi, my Legion Smart doll. She's got those on, and Ricky, my Barbie friend, sent me a scaled down version of this fabric, which I found the other day, and I'm going to make one for Barbie like this. So this is what I wore last year. My hair was pretty icy, I think, when I was wearing this as well. But yeah, so that's something else I can wear. Like, I could re-wear this on Christmas Day and my husband wear the shirt. That's a possibility. But yeah, I'm very used to making something new for Christmas. So if I don't, I know I've got something I could re-wear, or, you know, maybe I'll make something new, but I've got no idea what I would make this year as of yet. But maybe by the 1st of December, I might have made a decision. But sometimes I don't think I'd even decided I was going to make anything, and then I'd end up doing it. So I can get it done, hopefully. But it's a lot easier when you've got a room. I've had a room every December that I can sort, like I was kind of out of it. I was semi moved out of it last year, but I'm properly moved out of it this year, so it does make a difference. But anyway, I hope there is something you enjoyed seeing today, whether it's my dressmaking, crochet, knitting, plans or whatever. But I would love it if you could join me for Vlogmas, where I'll bring you a video every day. I can quite confidently say I'll bring you a video every day, because I've been doing Vlogmas. I know you should never say this, but I've been doing Vlogmas for a few years now, and I've never not bought a video. I've got a daily video out, whether it's long or short. I've managed to do one. So, you know, unless something awful happens or something, or I'll get really ill, then yeah, I can't see why not. But yeah, I'll do my best again. So if you don't watch my doll videos, maybe the next time you see me will be the 1st of December. But if you do watch my doll videos, I will definitely have a video out. I think it's the 21st of November. I'm doing a collaboration video with some other YouTubers where we're creating another bibliophile outfit for Blythe Dolls, and I'm doing that with Tammy Powerley from Peacecraft Dolls and Karen from Starch and Stitches. So that video is definitely going out. And I've got a mushroom, no, not mushroom, I've got a doll coming, a Blythe doll, which is a hedgehog theme. So I'm gonna have a hedgehog themed doll video coming out this year as well, which is really exciting. And some other news, my parents-in-laws have moved. You remember I told you I married into a family that have been holidaying in St Ives in Cornwall for generations. My parents-in-law, on the 3rd of November, they moved there. But luckily for us, they're going to live in a house big enough that we can stay there with them, which is amazing, isn't it? So that'll be nice. So we'll be seeing them at some point. Maybe a couple of times this year, I don't know. They need to get settled in. We don't want to, you know, rush and things, and obviously my husband's busy getting my room ready and things. So, but anyway, thank you so much for joining me today, and I will see you next time. Bye.